I want to thank God for Rev.Plus. Its first is to give glory to God, and because we can't do anything without God. Like my former boss used to say, that to do business, in Nigeria, and for you to be successful, it means he says it in Yoruba. He will say, "Ọlọ́run gbà fún yàn." It means that God accepted it because it's not by I went to Harvard, we've seen people who go to one of the schools and they still don't succeed in business. So first is to thank God, and then it gives a sense of fulfillment really for you to see a company who started just 8 years ago, and then to see what we're encouraged is to keep on with what God has done these 8 years. So it started like a joke. I was saying it at the management meeting we just had today, that I remember the MD saying when it was about 34, 35, thereabouts, one day in the house, he said, when I'm 40 years old, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to do my own thing. And lo and behold, we didn't even remember I started this business when I was exactly 40. And then looking at it, 8 years, I won't say we're not there because our dreams are big, very big. And we don't relent because we believe that there's still more grounds to be conquered. There's still more that can be done. So, but we thank God that in 8 years, because I look at it, 8 years, a lot of people say 8 years and you are this big. What will it now be in 15 years? We thought Rev.Plus was 15 or 20, Everybody keeps saying, oh yeah, 8 years, just 8 years, So, yes, 8 years, God has helped us, but there's still more grounds, to conquer. 48 hours, one thing in life is when you face challenges, at times, we all are afraid of failures, we are all afraid of, challenges. But the good thing about challenges is for people to be great in life, you must go through challenges. Because challenges actually makes you better if you can turn it around. So for me, the whole Wahaha and stuff brought us, we now could think deeply. And that's why I said sometimes when you are not challenged, you cannot innovate. So sometimes innovations, look at the kind of innovations that came out during the COVID. So sometimes challenges, things, they force out innovations. So, and I'm happy because Rev.Plus has been known for innovating in this business. We started the issue of, fencing. There are a lot of things as a market leader anyway that we initiate. Now, I can tell you for free, a lot of companies I've started allocating. And I was saying at that time, I said, what this is going to do for the sector is just going to change the dynamics. Because everybody will now say, oh, Rev.Plus is giving me land instantly. Why am I buying from you if you cannot give me my own instantly? Before you know it, everybody is forced to give instant allocation. I can tell you it's working perfectly. The kind of patronage, we sold out Victory Park. Victory Park was one of the estates we started instant allocation. We sold it under 1 month. People are still trooping in, to buy it. Then even people, immediately we changed instant allocations. All the people that had paid before, everybody started getting their survey, we started doing it. We changed the process. We were like, this thing we talk, there's nothing impossible. It's just, how can we do it? And so this forced that innovation to come up. So it's actually working. It's actually working very well. So what we do is all the estates are already laid out. The layout is already in office. So you pay now, we have like a manager who our job is to bring, so that you don't give to people to plots. Our job is to bring out the plot. So she brings out the layout, just put the client's name on it, and then sends the surveyor interprets it into the survey. And before you know it, the engineer, so we work in synergy, the engineer, the surveyor, and the office. So that three lines work in synergy, and before you know it, it's working. And it has already changed a lot of the perception. Really, within a short period, we see a lot of clients thanking us, praying, and like, oh, this is beautiful for us to pay now, get the land immediately, I'm ready. You understand? So it's really possible, and I thank God for the initiative. And I know that it will influence other real estate developers to also think in that direction so that we can change the whole narrative concerning the real estate industry in Nigeria. Be like a media rally, what we want to do. Last year we had a very big party because 7, of course, is a significant number, is a number of perfection. So we felt 8 years. Next big party we want to do is like maybe 10 years. So for this year we just want to do a media party. We just want Nigerians to be able to know what Revolution Plus have done. If we don't say our story, nobody will say it. And I know that the few things I've posted online, a lot of people have called me to say, "Oh, you guys have done this in 8 years. Oh, we didn't know." If we didn't mention, for instance, Revolution Plus has been able to do 43 estates and counting in these 8 years, and then we have eight, mega housing projects made over 9,500 landlords. That's people who have bought lands from us that we have allocated, and then also a lot of CSR projects. The kind of CSR projects we've done in this country is massive for a company that is 8 years old, for a company that is privately owned, it's not a multinational. I'm looking at the schools. Within that span, we have built 3 schools, one in Maryland, one Simi, donated to Lagos State government. One was donated, in Makoko, for the less privileged children under the Makoko, and another in Ikorodu, which is fully funded. And I was still talking about the teachers in that school being on Revolution Plus payroll because we pay the teachers because it's free tuition, free school. We're building an hospital, a very massive maternity center right now in Amuwo. Is it in sports? Is it in, giving back to the society has just been what Revolution Plus has been known for. And so it's not because we have so much we don't know what to do with it, but we feel that there's a need, and then the little that God has blessed us with, we feel that the country that has given us this opportunity, we need to give back in our own little way. So Revolution Plus has done a lot, in terms of staffing. Direct payroll is over 300 with all the subsidiary. Then indirect payroll is in thousands, from realtors to all. So when people, when you just want to talk down on a company, you need to think of the ripple effect. Now, I was asking someone, I said, you go online, you want to pull down a company, think of the lives that are attached to this company. Think of families. We're talking of individuals now. These individuals have children, they have wives. So look at the ripple effect on the company, And sometimes what gives me joy and fulfillment is the fact that I'm just young and I'm able to influence this number of lives. I'm grateful to God. I'm like, God, if at this age, I'm able to put food on this number of people, it's grace. It's grace. It's not, if God didn't give you grace, you can't influence anybody's life anyway. So I'm very grateful to God and thank God for Revolution Plus. It's a company founded on God, founded on integrity. And that's why so many times, even when we face a lot of challenges, we don't want to go back to the clients because we don't want them to think that, they're coming to disturb us. There are times we run losses on several of these estates. We buy it 3 times, we buy it 4 times, you understand? And then the clients will not know that, this, MD will just say, in business we make losses, so don't even let them know. It's okay, let's pay it, let them have land that are cumbered. And of course, on the issue of delayed allocation, I did a video last week, or I talked on several reasons why allocation delays. There are several reasons why you can have delay in allocation in the real estate industry. In fact, as a matter of fact, the issue of allocation is synonymous with the industry, it's sacrosanct with the business. Even government, I have some letter of allocation from government property that we bought 10, 15 years ago. We can't, they're not allocated. They are not even saying anything about it. And if any real estate company comes and say, we are perfect, we don't have delay in allocation, nobody can say it because it comes with the business. Now, for instance, there are times we buy properties. There's an issue on the property. We can't come back to you to tell you, there's an issue, we're trying to sort out a court case. Because you buy the land, when you were buying it, there was no problem. And then after payment, you suddenly realize a whole lot of things just sprint up. How do you tell people, the land you have bought, there is court case on it and all? It will raise agitations. So it will result in delay because you're trying to resolve those issues. You want to deliver an open land to them. And they will not know those, I've fully paid since this year and you have not given me the land. Well, we have some estates currently now that I know the challenges we've gone through, the payments were made that the clients don't know. Some of them, they bought land 1 million. For us to allocate them that 1 million naira, we have people spend 3 million to give them the 1 million naira per plot. But we won't tell them all of these things because it will agitate them, it will get them worried, and some of them are in diaspora. We don't want to give an impression that investing in Nigeria, we don't want them to get discouraged. So these are some of the things that causes this delay in allocation. And sometimes to clients are also the cause of this delay. Didn't mention this. Sometimes clients are the cause. So you buy a property, you are told that when I pay for land, I'm supposed to pay statutory. In every part of the world, we run business in the US. You do title. Your title money cannot be the cost of your property. In fact, as a matter of fact, in the US, they call it title company. You have to go to those title companies to title your property. It's not the same thing you pay for the property. People pay for land and they just assume they have land. And then they just come. Rev.Plus, then they come anytime. Some of them, 2017, they just go. 2022, they just come 5 years after. And they will expect you to keep the land for them. They say, oh, we have paid you. Why would you not keep the land? Keep the land. What's the time value of money? How do you keep land for 5 years? You were told you need to pay. If you pay this statutory fees, you'll be allocated. And the truth of the matter is, we have been allocated. All these estates have been allocated. Now, the recent issue on delayed allocation in 2020, the COVID affected us badly. There was no allocation throughout 2020 in all of these two estates. And we started selling these estates using Dallas, Miami. These estates that caused the uproar were sold 2019. So we were supposed to start allocating them in 2020, which we never did because of the situation. So when we started in 2021, the backlog, of course, there are many, because those estates typically takes us 2 years. So when we sell estates that have over 1,000 subscribers, going to 1,000 to 1,005, it takes us, because we do it in batches, maybe 400 per batch, we do twice in a year. So it takes us almost typically 2 years to do it, because we've been doing it. So it spilled into 2022 because we lost a year. So it looked at, oh, it's been delayed. We're in I bought in 2019. This is 2022. So it's not the intention. So sometimes some force majeure things happen that would be the cost for the delay. But the good thing about it, this is a reputable organization. We're not going to go anywhere. This building is owned by us. Most of our offices are owned by us. This is a purely indigenous company in Nigeria who has come to provide affordable housing solutions, who are totally dedicated to making Nigerians landlords. So, we are committed to it. All kinds, everyone who has subscribed to Rev.Plus doesn't have anything to fear. And we're committed to ensure that those outstandings are cleared this year. And so we've scheduled to do it May, August, and December. So by December, in fact, there's an estate we still talked about it. By this May, everybody was like, I want to hear. Clear out everybody who have bought that estate. That I just bought 100 acres now. Clear out everybody. Don't come to me on this estate so that I know I'm focused on this other two. So by 2022 December, we are done with all of those. And thank God now there's no more backlog. You buy, you get allocated. So there's nothing like, oh, there's a backlog, I paid or I didn't finish. And now, of course, we have encouraged people, pay all your fees. And we're educating the public as much as possible. The land fees is different from statutory. So at least, because most of them realized they were not knowledgeable, at least so we're doing a lot of enlightenment campaign on the importance of paying other fees so that you can get your land allocated to.